Okay, today we're looking at some more functions, and we're looking at these graphs, and we're trying to determine whether or not they're a function. And if they are, we're going to state their domain and the range. Okay, so for number one, the easiest way to determine if something is a function is to do what's called the vertical line test. And so I've placed these little green lines right here. The red part is the function, or the path, and this vertical line, the rule is it can only pass through one point. So on this line it passes through one point. We're good. We're good on the second line, but on the third line it passes through several points, meaning it cannot be a function of x. So for number one, it is not function of x. Okay, now for number two, we do the vertical line test again, and we see that there are not multiple points passing through these vertical lines, stating that it is in fact a function. So let's find the domain, and remember that the domain is going to be your x values along the horizontal plane. And so you take the point that is furthest most to the left, and you take the other point which is furthest most to the right. Okay, so as you can see here, you've got a -2 for the domain. So let's do this. Okay, so for domain is going to be a -2 and a +2. So you got here's 1 or 0, I'm sorry, on the x-axis. You go -1, -2, there you go. 0, +1, +2, there you go. Okay, now for the range, you're looking at, okay, so for the range you're looking at y values, and this is going to be from the furthest point at the bottom, okay, to the furthest point to the top. And so when we look at this, you find that down here is your furthest most point towards the bottom, and you look up here and this is your highest point. So the range is going to be a -1 and 0, 1, 2. Alright, number 3. Alright, number 3 is a little bit more tricky because we do this vertical line test, and you say, oh, I'm good right here, and you can do it over here, I'm good, over here, I'm good. But when you do it right here, you say, well, what's going on? Well, here's the thing, you've got a closed dot right here, and you've got an open dot, and this signifies a skip. And so this open dot, that's not actually a point, and it's not actually going through right there, it actually skips up to here. So this does pass the vertical line test. Okay, so for number 3, let's look at the domain. The furthest most point to the left is going to be right here, which is at 0, 1, 2, 3. So, sorry. Okay, so the domain it's going to be a -3. So you got 0, sorry, -1, -2, -3 right here, and then you get the furthest most point to the right, which is up here, and that's going to be a 2. Okay, and now for the range, you start off and you say, okay, the lowest point is obviously going to be 0, -1, -2, -3, right? Okay, now that's a closed dot, so we can put these brackets. So you say -3. Then you follow where it goes, and that's going to be a -2 right here. Okay? But what you want to do is you're going to, instead of using brackets, you're just going to use the parentheses because it's open-ended. And then what you do to signify that it skips, you're going to just put a little U like that, kind of, and then you're going to go to the next range of this next part, which is going to be a -1. And since it is a closed dot, you're going to use a bracket. So you got -1, and then it goes all the way up to where? Not right here, but actually it goes all the way up to here, and so that's going to be a 3. Okay, and then number 4, we do the vertical line test, and we go, we're good when we go like this, but when you go through here, you're going to go through multiple points, which means it does not pass the vertical line test. So, number 4, not function of x. And I hope that helps with showing whether or not it's a function and showing you the domain and range.